Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Tsoulianos, brought to you by his books, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Gives you an awesome overview of all the PEDs used in our sport, doses, side effects, cycles, all that good stuff. Then, of course, the sequel, you need to know this, training, nutrition, and supplementation in bodybuilding. You can get those on Amazon.com. Also check out his website, gtoul.com, for articles in English and Greek on all kinds of subjects. And if you're on Amazon buying books, get my book, Real Bodybuilding. What an awesome book. And now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Tsoulianos. How are you, doctor?
Hi, Ron.
Yeah. So I just came back from the new gym in Nashville, Tennessee. Aaron Singerman opened up this massive Redcon 1 gym. If you ever get to Nashville, George, you've got to check this place out.
Nashville is in Tennessee.
Yeah. So
you met a common friend, Carl Lenore.
Yes, I met your friend Carl Lenore, who does I can't remember.
The radio producer, yes, about fitness.
I can't recall the name of his show right now, but
Super radio, yeah.
But yeah, he spoke very, very highly of you. And the one thing I like about the gym is there's a line of equipment that you're probably familiar with because you're in Europe called Panata Sport from Italy.
Yeah.
Great machines, but we don't have them.
So Panata is in the US?
Well, Aaron imported a bunch of equipment from Italy.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff I've never, ever seen in my life. So I'm all about equipment.
So in US, you have many equipments rather than free weights. I mean, you use them a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, especially I'm older and I have a lot of joint problems. So machines are much more important to me than they were years ago.
Even the pros are using them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they tell these guys, you need to do heavy free weights, but
it's about quality, after some time,
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get injured. That's the problem.
They are in trouble, yes.
Heavy squats, heavy bench presses, heavy deadlifts for years and years and years.
I believe until 30, you push it to the free weights. Right. And afterwards, you try to be more consistent,
Right. So, yeah, psyched about that place. But, Doc, we got some questions. We actually got some really good questions while I was away. Let's start with this one. What is the best way to get your ferritin back up? So that's your iron levels if it drops due to diet or phlebotomy. Eating iron is the obvious answer. Any specific regimen?
Well, iron has to be stacked with ascorbic acid, vitamin C, because the perfect catalyst to be absorbed, and also under empty stomach conditions. And do not interfere with caffeine because you diurate it, and also dairy products. Okay, so even with children, if you, I mean, pediatrician, my sister gives orders to the parents that if you give iron along with milk, it's malabsorbed. So keep the dairy products away and use them to stomach in the morning, and without caffeine involved for, let's say, for 5-10 minutes, along with vitamin C. Now, if you want to do it with the food stuff, then you have to prefer eating liver, spleen, beef, of course, red meat, buffalo, bison, along with some pepperoni, some berries, some orange juice. So to stack the iron, the hemic iron actually coming from animal sources, also the egg yolk is plenty in iron, rather than the iron that comes from Spanish, let's say, along with vitamin C,
Yeah, I mean, I know it's an issue with women, iron deficiency, because they get their menstrual cycle every month.
Yes.
How common is it with men in your experience to have low?
It's not. I mean, unless you have a GIT issue, you're losing from the rectum, or from the colon, or even from the urinary bladder, or some epistaxis from the nose. There's no other loss. Perhaps if you take too much anti-inflammatory drugs, non-steroid inflammatory, that cause ulcer, there's no other explanation to lose blood. We have to give, as Carl says, we have to blood donate because it's like changing the oil in the car, in the engine,
Yeah.
And we kick afterwards the bone marrow for new production. So it's a good thing.
Okay, cool. Next question. Hi, doctor. What do you suggest for a first cycle for a 45-year-old? He says, I have low blood pressure and low hemoglobin. I've trained for several years.
But I guess test and DECA is basic stuff that works, and pharmaceutical grade, legitimate source,
Yeah.
It's not something toxic. I prefer DECA rather tan a quick pause because I know that DECA is supposed to be used for humans. Equipos does not have the ISO verification. We don't know. I mean, if it's not contaminated, you know.
Yeah.
So getting DECA from the pharmacy, it's the best thing you can trust, you know.
Yeah. And you believe in that 2-to-1 ratio? So if you're doing
Yes, as Connor says, absolutely, yes. But some people are not interested about, you know, having super libido, so they keep it 1-to-1 because you have to double your testosterone. This will bring perhaps some blood pressure, some erythrocytosis, more, you know, perhaps some aggression, some gyno, perhaps, you know. So yes, usually DECA and tren have to be doubled with testosterone, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize tren had that same effect. Is it because it's a
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a 19 or testosterone. You know, it's a DECA derivative actually. So it has to be doubled by testosterone. And this is scary because tren is itself androgenic. Testosterone is also androgenic, so the combo is volcanic.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we talk about tren all the time. As someone's starting steroids in their mid 40s or older, would you want to caution them away from tren in general?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, start safe and go slow. Try DECA, Primo, you know, legitimate compounds, master on the coupons, perhaps testosterone. Then go to the orals if you want to go a step further, you know.
Yeah.
But in first place, you try the less harmful compounds, you know, and then you go to the orals and to the tremolo, which is the holy grail of also go. But you have to work out for at least 1 decade in order to see something different, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a decade is a long. Some of these, you know, you tell somebody you got to work out for 10 years. They're like, 10 years before I can use steroids? Come on. Yeah, they want to wait like 10 minutes.
Well, before you drive behind the steer, the steer of Ferrari, you need to be a driver of 10 years at least, you know.
Or else what happens? You crash. Okay. All right. Next question, doctor. I do PEDs since 3 years. So I guess he's been doing PEDs for 3 years. Small blasts and HRT microdosing cruising. I've just done some blasting with 400 milligrams of nandrolone a week. All the other compounds are taken in very small dosage. My TRT is between 100 and 150 milligrams per week. I take supplements to improve my blood panels. The question is, I noticed my resting heart rate is elevated from 50 before PEDs to now around 70. I'm 48 years old and I do my cardio. Is 70 beats per minute a sign of heart disease or fatigue of the heart?
Not at all. Come on. 70 is something casual, ordinary, and something that is considered to be healthy, you know. So 50 is really low, is what marathon runners have because they have a large heart with large ventricles that pump, and out of economy they pump less frequent because the volume of the blood that they pump, which is called the stroke volume, is so enormous that the heart do not have to pump more frequent, you know, like some other people that have smaller ventricles and they have to pump more times. But now speaking about DECA, he abuses DECA at 400 milligrams. That no, what steroids do and increase heart rate is, first of all, they fire up the signals more, and second, they disrupt the electrolytes. So apart from sodium, out of aldosterone, DECA increases the magnesium, also the calcium reabsorption that are significant in the myocardium contraction. Okay, so out of electrolyte imbalance comes the slight arrhythmia, perhaps the tachycardia, and this is more observed in undertremolo, of course. Okay, that is more androgenic, also stimulates the central nervous system. You sweat a lot, you become angry. So it is among the side effects, the slight increase in the heart rate out of steroid use, even though you don't use any stimulant, you know.
So what resting heart rate would you start to worry? What number would start to concern you?
80 in resting without a coffee?
Yeah.
80, 90, yeah, that's a problem.
All right, so 70.
So 61 per second, it's perfect.
Perfect.
Below that, it's super athletic, okay? Up to 70 is considered to be normal.
Okay. And next question is, I think we basically covered it with the older gentleman. He says, I've never done a cycle before. What is a good beginner cycle? I've trained for 15 years. I commend you.
Yeah, we said that. Testing DECA, testing Primo, you know.
Yeah. So if you're gonna, we don't like to give dosage amounts, but you know how a very first cycle.
Well, and 1 ml of DECA test, so 250,
Yeah.
let's say in a fed, you know, it's considerable fair dose, you know.
Very
Start from 1 ml, then go to half a gram, 2 mLs, then 3, then 1 gram. It's a lot. You know?
I remember years ago, someone, I'm not going to name him, but he would tell people their first cycle should start with a gram of test a day, 1,000 milligrams. Yeah, you know who we're talking about. Anyway,
what is the advance then?
That's a lot for a beginner. That's a lot of testosterone for a beginner. Way too much. Here's a good one, Doctor. Dr. T always advocates pharma grade gear. What do you think about pharma grade Primo that was made in India?
I'm not aware of this, but I'm aware of pharma grade Primo made in Greece and in Turkey and in Spain also. Okay. I'm not sure about Germany. Germany produced the oral Primo, but Turkey still manufactures it. It's expensive, you know, $10 for 1 ml for 100 milligrams. In Greece, it used to cost only $3 20 years ago.
So it's more than tripled in price. Wow. Yeah.
In Spain, I heard about $15. It's a lot.
I mean, but in generally speaking, if it's made it's pharma grade, any country would have very strict, you know, guidelines and
not necessarily. No, Greece, no, it didn't have any. We used to take as much as Primo we would like, you know, and decals.
Yeah, but I mean,
the regulations are really loose.
I'm saying underground gear is risky, but I think pharma grade gear, I would assume every country has pretty good quality control if it's pharmaceutically produced. It's sterile and it's properly dosed and all that, I would imagine. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you pay and you expect from a pharma grade to be safe, you know, in every aspect.
Gotcha. Next one. This is my favorite question of the week, by the way. What would make you feel more macho and confident? Test in tren or test with a strong DHT like Superdrol that frees up test and gives that mental effect typical of the DHTs?
Well, I guess high androgenic and DHTs as well. So halotestin, for instance, trenbolone, yes, but also the DHT derivatives, which is masteron, proviron, even the anabolic ones. However, DHT gives you self-esteem. Testosterone is reduced to DHT, okay?
Yeah.
That's why castrated men, the lack of DHT and the lack of self-esteem, you know?
Yeah.
So DHT is responsible, and actually testosterone is a prohormone to DHT. And also, yes, the androgenic ones make you more cocky, arrogant, and aggressive, you know?
Yeah. I mean, test in general, I think tends to make you more, that's the male hormone. So just testosterone alone is going to make you more confident, sex drive, it's energetic, you know, just a good mood feeling. But good answer, doctor. Thanks for that. Since we just talked about halotestin. Since halotestin was made to treat breast cancer, can we say it will counteract estrogen on a cycle and even reduce gyno? This
is a good one. So hypothetically, yes, we can assume that. Also the DHT derivatives, because DHT is antiestrogenic. So Masteron had this implementation. Before Arimidex, Femara, and Aromacin were produced in the 2000s, Masteron was used as an injectable for breast cancer, you know, to counterbalance the estrogens as a DHT synthetic, you know, because the breast cancer, the estrogens go sky high, and an alternative treatment was to apply androgens, non-aromatizing ones, okay?
Yeah.
So yes, we can say, but halotestin is extremely toxic, you know, extremely liver toxin, also cardiovascular system out of the lipids. Also, they make you crazy aggressive. Okay.
Absolutely.
I assume hair thinning also. Yeah. So you can use Masteron Proviron also.
On TRT at 125 milligrams per week or testosterone enanthate, and he says androtartal 1 pharma grade, I don't know where that's from, and pinning low dose every day. Do I need to take an AI to control gyno symptoms? At the same protocol with testosterone propionate and the same dosage, I have absolutely no symptoms. Do you know why?
Yes, because propionate clears the system and is less likely to aromatize within 48 hours rather than 100 hours that and let's say it remains in the system, for 5 days or at least a week.
Yeah.
That's why it's considered to be cutting or bulking testosterone,
Yeah.
assumingly. But for symptoms of gyno, you don't need an aromatase inhibitor. It's too late for that.
Mm.
You just need a tamoxifen, a SERM, to block the estrogen receptor. So like sitting on a chair, there's no able floating estrogen to sit on the chair also.
Mm.
So you occupy their position. Because aromatase inhibitors are used before the creation of aromatization, precautiously.
Yes.
So in the beginning, first place, to avoid the formation, the synthesis of estrogens. But when estrogens are already produced, you need to use an Ovalex.
Gotcha. And you and Dr. O'Connor have both spoken many times about controlling the estrogen release by microdosing, taking small amounts.
Yeah, this is one way. Yes, this is one way to do it. Actually, what I learned is it doesn't matter how high your estrogens are, but the ratio between testosterone and estrogens. The problem is when you have high estrogens and moderate testosterone. When it's high testosterone and high estradiol, this is reasonable. This is proportional,
Yeah.
So gynecomastia arises when you have low DHT, which is an estrogenic, low testosterone, and high estradiol, high IGF-1 also, high prolactin. It's multifactorial, but the ratio is crucial,
Yeah. Okay, cool. Doctor, that's all the questions we have for this week. Good episode. Good episode. I like when you guys keep the questions short, get to the point. That way we can help a lot more people every week. And, Dr. T, thank you. As always, I want to point out to you guys, you don't have opportunities like this very often. A medical doctor who has many, many years of bodybuilding experience, is a national bodybuilding champion. He's used PEDs. He's counseled many patients who have used PEDs. So he's got a perspective and experience level that very, very few doctors in this world have. So we're very
from October, my column is referred as Ask Dr. T.
Is what?
It is referred as Ask Dr. Testosterone instead of Dr. Testosterone. So I won't analyze any subject, but I straight answer the questions people from the show.
Yeah, we've had some great questions from these shows. So
over 1,000. Yes.
Oh, many. Yeah. I mean, for a while you were doing 20 questions a week. Remember?
24 is the question of the record.
Yeah, I'm sure you broke 1,000 questions long ago.
Yeah, it was about 55-minute show.
Because this is episode 116.
Do you remember some long pages questions?
Yeah, if you printed all these out, it would be a big book about that thick, I think. Just the questions and answers. Cool. Well, everybody, again, check out the website, gtoul.com. Follow the doctor on Instagram at Dr. George Touliatos. And that's it. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell so you're notified with new videos. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. We'll see you next week here on Ask Dr. Testosterone.